Welcome back, guys. Another Jenny from the chopping block tonight. So tonight I have guest star Ignacio Lopez, and we call him Nacho. And
Hey, Jen.
hey, Nacho and I met actually in Lorelai Mariano's mastermind about going on 2 years now, which I find really crazy
Yeah.
that it's been that long. And Nacho is just
You were just a very generous spirit there. I really enjoyed your presence there.
Thank you. I was going through a lot, and I just felt like you guys were my
you were
family. Like you were my everything. So I appreciate you guys so much, and we all became so close. And we have, Nacho. We have some fun I have some fun memories with you. Whether it was, on Richard Green's class we took together for the TED Talk.
We've done a couple classes together now.
Yeah. And you were definitely the favorite.
Aww.
In the TED Talk class. Oh. You think you got voted favorite, didn't you?
I don't remember getting voted favorite. I
think you were.
Okay, cool.
So Nacho, I want to dive in with you and talk about the beautiful contributions to the world. You're the founder of Happybuddha.guru and your gorgeous jewelry. And
Thank you.
Just maybe tell the audience more about how that started and what that means to you.
Okay, so how it started years ago. I was, post-divorce. You know how divorces are; they just leave people a bit decimated, And so I was at the time what you call garage sale broke, where all you can afford to do is shop at garage sales. Going to the regular store just ain't really an option for you right now because nobody's going to give you anything for 25 cents.
Oh my God. It kind of made me want to go to a garage sale I haven't been to one in a long time.
I still love garage sales. I really, one of the reasons I really love Gary Vee is because he loves garage sales. He's always going to garage sales and flipping stuff. And,
trash talk.
Actually, it's real straight up. Anybody can do that and do better than minimum wage. You could do better than $15 an hour pretty easy. And so, for me, it's just like I have a passion about them because you always find such interesting stuff at them. And then you can do the flip. At any rate, so I'm at a garage sale. I'm garage sale broke, post-divorce, right? And I'm depressed. I'm on Prozac at the time, right? And you know what? Let me go get the guy. Hold on.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is a great story, guys. Just wait. Nacho's amazing.
So I come up on this garage sale, right? And there's this guy right here. Let's see. I get it. There he is. And
are those real malas or is that part of the statue?
This is real malas.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa. That looks
whoa, that's
so real.
Carving, but
I so happy and cute. Right? Love him.
I saw this guy, and if that doesn't make you smile, I don't really know what is. Right?
You're not human. Yeah.
Right. It's just one of those things that it creates a palpable sense of joy.
Love
and it's
pose
good.
Too.
We can knock on his head, and he's got his hands up in the air. And look, and his thumb is broke here. Can you see that?
I remember talking to you about this.
Right, and his thumb is broken, and he don't care. He doesn't care at all. He's as happy as can be, And so when you're depressed and you haven't felt happiness in a while, and you come across this, it was like water on my soul. It was like somebody had, like I was a dry plant in the wilderness, and somebody just like, shh, and I was like, wow, I need
Beautiful.
That. Whatever that is, I need that guy, right? And it was definitely in, I'm here. That happened here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Tulsa is like the buckle of the Bible Belt. So there was a bit of like, ooh, I don't know about Buddha, type of thing going on in my own head at the time. But I found him so charming and so endearing that I just kind of like had to do it. And that's basically, what happened was I was kind of into jewelry all the time. I've always loved a little bit of jewelry, not crazy. I don't like, not Mr. T or anything. like tons of chains or anything. You know? But I wanted to make it portable, right? I wanted to make, you can't carry him around with you. And so I went looking for some, I went online, started looking for Happy Buddha jewelry, right? And every time that I would look for something, I was like, okay, it's got to be out there, right? Exquisitely happy, just like this guy, right? I thought it's got to exist out there. But things that are smaller are made usually in a very quick fashion. There's not much attention to detail. It's cheaply made. It's about getting a transactional production going on, and the detail gets lost. And the expression, the difference between this and isn't too much. and all these Buddha guys, they look like your scary drunk uncles. Like,
oh my God.
I was like, that's not happy. It doesn't make me happy. It's creepy.
That's hilarious.
No more for you, Buddha. But so that's so as I tried to make it more portable, I'm a sculptor, and so I decided, well, I guess I'm gonna have to make my own, right?
So
and so
cool.
this was the first piece of jewelry that I made. Was I don't know if you can see, this is
beautiful.
I call this the Happiness Warrior Dog Tag and Spiritual Compass, right? And I think, for insofar as the mission of my company is, what I'm trying to do is to be that spiritual compass for people, right? Because most of the time we're on social media looking at Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter addictively. Like people, the first thing they do is wake up and bam, there's this thing, right? And so I have created, like, my bracelet here. This was the second piece, was this little bead here. And you can see, I don't know how in focus that is. Or
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So I know that you use like your printer to do, did you always to make them? How'd you start when you made them?
Okay, so the first thing that I did was have to create the sculpture, right? You have to, like, I created a sculpture that looks like this, right? And the whole thing, the dog tag,
Oh, cool.
And then so I sculpted that all in one piece, but that was about maybe 8 inches tall, the original sculpture. And so then what I do after that is I do it out of a polymer clay. Super Sculpey is this. It's the best if you want to casually get into sculpture. Super Sculpey is the material to start with. It's really cool, and you can get it at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Any good art supply, any big box art supply is going to have it. You can also order it off of Amazon. It's about $15 for like a pound or 2 pounds.
Oh wow, that's not bad.
But the cool thing about it is, after you're done with it, it'll take the smoothest finish just with your finger, which is really remarkable, because not even real clay, like earth clay, will do what this kind of stuff does. And then once you're done, you put it in your oven at the house at 250 for 20 minutes. It bakes over, it's hard, it's done. Then you can even add to it. Like you can put more, like, oh, I needed to put a little bit more there. You can just put some on there and put it back in the oven. You can only do that so many times before it starts discoloring. But so that's what I did. And then I took that, and then this has all been a big experiment. I didn't know what I was doing.
Cool. So cool.
And I said, well, let's go I took it to this, what's the name of the company? Gosh, they're down in Deep Ellum, Texas, in Dallas. And I took it over there, and they digitized it for me. And then I took it to another jeweler that knew how to do the printing and the casting and all that. And I have since learned how to do all the CAD work and the printing and the casting myself. But it was just too much at that time to bite it all off myself. So to get a product, but then once you have a product, you got to market. And that's been that's okay, Nacho. This is now the year of marketing.
All right, let's do it. And I see that you sell your stuff on Etsy, yes?
I do sell my stuff on Etsy. It's better just to hit me up directly on Instagram.
Got it.
Because I tend to view like whether it's a mala like this. This is it's a bracelet, right? And but it's also it's a Buddhist mala with 108 beads and a guru bead, right? And
Okay.
and so you can you see Buddha's face there? I can't.
Yes, I
Okay.
can clearly. It's good.
Right. Yeah. And so what's cool about it is, like you sit and so what I learned off of YouTube is that uh, in the I guess Ayurvedic tradition, these fingers, your index fingers, have a lot of pit energy, right? Which is a fire energy, and that it will burn the fire. That malas like this, used for meditation on a daily basis, actually accrue energy, right? They become like a spiritual weapon, like on Doctor Strange.
You're so fun.
and so to avoid burning out the spiritual energy with your pit energy, you do not touch your mala, your meditation mala, with your index fingers, right? And so with 108 beads, right, on one of these, and I have others that are 54 bead as well, right, which is half. But with 108 beads, if you take a 6-second breath in and a 6-second breath out, you'll go around. And this was my second product, and that I made, and you go around, and 12 seconds a bead on 108 beads, you will spend approximately 21 minutes and 48 seconds meditating, right? Which is a perfect little 20-minute meditation that they want you to get to, right? You're going a little bit extra. And but yeah, it's been a labor of love. Mm-hmm. Oh, and on these, I don't know if you noticed, but 108, this is the geek engineer in me. My degree's in architectural engineering. But these beads, there's 108 of them. And if you divide 108 by 9, it divides evenly. I think it's 12, right? And so every 9th bead is a different bead. These are jade, and then this is prehnite. And
gorgeous.
So jade has one type of metaphysical quality, and prehnite actually increases your intuition and clairvoyance. Whereas jade is more like grounding. And
can you tell us a little bit more? Because I know you have other styles as well. Can you tell us a few others you have?
Well, insofar as like jewelry is concerned, I've got, this is my Zen Buddha pendant, right? It's just very simple, but it's a Buddha head, and it's actually weighted so it'll stay that way, And that's the other thing about these. What I've made a modification to this. If I made, like my ears stick out like this, and if I made Buddha just like that without like putting a dent in the side of his hand in the design, removing that part of the ear, what happens is that it makes the bracelet makes Buddha's face stay out facing all the time. And one of the things I like about this, about the bracelet, is that this is your, let's see if I can do this. All right. Okay.
A little higher.
A little higher? No,
yep.
Wait. Hold, I'm trying to show you this right here. There we go. See that right? There's a little pocket right there that your tendons make. You see that?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That
Look
right
at
there.
Him. He has a little home. Love it.
Little hole right there. I call that the Buddha pocket. Right? And Buddha goes in the Buddha pocket. And what happens is you can see him, like it's sitting there on top of your wrist. And so you see him there. When he's not there, you put him back in there. And it's like it gives you a place of, okay, where is my happiness temperature at, right? And so the idea is that happiness is like a muscle that can be built, right? Mm-hmm. It's a skill and a strength inside of us. And it's actually a developable. You can develop that skill. Just like you can develop your ability to play the piano. Like it takes time. It takes concerted effort. There are those that, like Mozart, I don't know if you know much about that guy, but he was
I love Mozart.
Yeah, he
My favorite's Bach, though. I love Bach.
Right. Really? Mozart, I like the story about Mozart. He was 5 years old, right? And they took him to the big, fancy church, right? And then he goes home, and he's 5 years old, right? And they accuse him of stealing the sacred music from the chapel because it was so complex, right? But because he just went home and started playing it after hearing it once, right? And so they filed charges against a 5-year-old for stealing the sacred music, because how else could he have done this?
Wow.
Right? And that's what limited minds think, is that there's no way. And that's the cool thing about stuff like people like Mozart, is that it's really easy for us to see the divine in it when it happens so precociously like that, right? And it's really beautiful, right? We associate it with the divine for a child to have that kind of a gift. And then for the rest of us, that it doesn't come so easy, right? That's a whole nother story. But it is we can develop what Mozart has. The spirit of it is alive and available for us. We just got to go slowly.
How?
How?
I'm like a why and a how girl. Why? No.
Why? That's kind of like that TED talk that I gave. I didn't give a TED talk. I took a TED talk class on how to give a TED talk, and the title is Once Again, Very Relaxed and Very Slowly. And I think that's the difference between Mozart's approach and ours, right? Or as an adult. Mozart was a child when he attempted to do it, right? And he didn't have any preconceived ideas about tension in his body, or whether it would be hard or not, or because most of the time what happens when most people get inspired with music is they see somebody like Jimi Hendrix go out and play the guitar, and then they go and grab a guitar and they start hitting on it, and it doesn't sound like that, right? It's like, I'm not gifted, I'm not Mozart, and so then they either give up altogether, or they continue to try, and so there's an idea called pretentiousness, right? And pretentiousness is pretending to have a character quality when you don't have it. Like pretending somebody's pretentious if they pretend that they're a millionaire or a billionaire, but they're not, right? And so there's something in our spirit that wants to be the center of everything, perhaps. I don't know. It's ego, right? And our ego decides, well, I can do that. But your body and your mind don't know how to do that yet.
It's like the F chord. Ow.
Right.
You got to incorporate your pinky, and you're like, this is just not natural. Like,
right. It feels that way.
Yeah.
Because, and the truth of the matter, though, is if you do it very relaxed, right? Instead of trying, that's one of the things that I learned from a friend of mine. I learned flamenco technique from a white guy named Chris Carrington, who actually made this guitar. Right?
Beautiful. Wait, is flamenco when you beat on the guitar too?
What's that?
Wait, what's that style? What is? Can you
flamenco?
Flamenco.
Yeah. So the rasgueado, right? I wish the whole world would learn the rasgueado. This is the rasgueado. Right? That right there, to be able to get the skill to do that, it requires the average student takes 25,000 passes to be able to walk. You're not able to run. You're like a baby. You can walk now, but you don't know how to dance like Fred Astaire yet or any of that shit.
You're the best.
You just know how to walk. Okay? You just got to where you can put one foot in front of the other, right?
Absolutely.
And so it takes a tremendous amount, the whole it's a real easy triplet, right? And I'm straying here, but when people see Jimi Hendrix play the guitar, right, they come back and say, oh, well, I want to be able to do that. I can do it. Maybe I could even be even better than him, right? But you come back and you have the pretense that you can, right? And you think you know what you're doing, but you don't, right?
Mhm.
And Mozart had that childish relaxation of, well, let's see what this is like, rather than trying to look good for somebody else so that they can assert themselves. It was just purely, what is this, right? And so when you're coming from what is this, you're not putting too much effort into it, trying to look like somebody else or something else. You're just trying to see what's there. And it's a very relaxed and slow, the whole thing is, the slower you go and the more relaxed you go, practicing effortlessness and weightlessness, you will come upon the feel for how something it goes faster and faster. Anybody can be a badass at slow, right? Anybody, right? If you just want to go slow, and then you have, what I find is that the tensions that you have to release immediately from your hands, right? That whole sense of being relaxed keeps on getting further and further and developing deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's how life is, right? That's how happiness is, right? And so that's why, most of the time we're on our social media, looking at our phone addictively, spending 12 and a half fucking hours on the I hate when I get those reports from Siri saying you spend 12.5 hours on average day. Oh my God.
I said to a friend, my friend Jen Ferris, we were on the phone for a couple of hours last night, and I was like, I think I'm going to take like a day off from social media. And she's like, I don't think you should. I'm like,
I think that's a bad idea.
No, she's like, if
have our cell phones in our hands all the time.
But if you're trying to build like something, it's good to have presence. But even if I come on like in the morning, I dedicate an hour just to do, the advice from like Gary, or like do 3 posts a day. Like,
right. I'm terrible at that kind of shit. I think I lost you. I think your connection is. Yes, you're back. You're back.
I told you I might dip out.
So I recently saw Tim Ferriss saying that he'd taken a social media diet, cell phone diet, and his reports were that he was spending about 30 minutes a day.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all. So if I can reduce from 12 and a half hours to 30 minutes, I'll be happy. But again, social media, usually what's happening is people are paying to get you ads to get you pissed off about some kind of political or social issue, right?
I unfollow a lot of stuff.
And so if that's the case, if people are using social media to make us upset, then it's our responsibility. It's my responsibility to develop something that will keep, that's outside of the realm of this digital thing, and it'll be my spiritual compass back towards happiness. That's what Happybuddha.guru is about. It's about things that will call us to be a different person.
I love that. And that was like my first step in like trying to better my mindset.
Right.
I forget what book it was. Maybe You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And just like I unfollowed everything that upset me on Instagram. Like if it was negative, like I just unfollowed it. Right. And I filled it with things that, because I am a social media queen. Like I it's filled with like good stuff, and so it's a thing. Yeah, that was one of my first steps I took.
so funny. I'm sitting here. You know how you ever see people mess with their hair too much on lives or stuff like that? They're constantly making the. So I've for some reason I've got this tapestry on the wall.
You look like celestial right now. Like it's like perfect.
I keep on wanting to put my head right in the middle.
I know. I'm like, is it a green screen?
No, it's one of those hippie tapestries that you
I got one, but it's the world. No, I love it. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So Nacho, I remember I thought it was when you were talking to Joseph McClendon on the mastermind, but I think it was during our TED Talk class that you were talking about your love for music and just incorporating that within our lives. And I see you now posting uplifting videos online as well. Can you maybe play us a song?
Sure. Let's see. So would you rap? You want something upbeat? You want a ballad? What do you want?
I want whatever feels right for you. Just wherever your hands lead you.
Actually, that was not anything. I guess I should have given this a little bit more thought. Let me play When Will Love Win, because that's the one that I just posted. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is called When Will Love Win. So tired of this mess we've made, a longing to relieve the pain, but it feels like love's failed again. Please tell me something else is possible. When will love win? Something else is possible. When will love win? The problem is an open door. We've passed through many times before. This time love can set you free, 'cause something else is possible when love wins. Something else is possible when love wins. How could you know that you're the light when you're always trying to hide it, babe? How could you turn the dark to light if you never try to shine? Just let your light shine every day. You will feel the way, and then keep working that groove every day. Each and every day. Every day, yeah.
So good.
How could you know that you're the light when you're always trying to hide it? How could you turn the dark to light? You never try to shine, never try to shine. Just let your light shine every day. You will feel the way, and then keep working that groove every day. Every day, every day.
So fucking good. I'm sorry I can't keep quiet anymore.
Glad you liked it.
Bravo. Oh my God, that hit me. Wow.
Yeah, you know, that was a
so good, Nacho. Thank you so much.
that one about I like the if I could, you know, give myself a compliment here, really, but it's not giving myself a compliment. It's just that I really like the concept of how could you know that you're the light if you're always trying to hide it?
Mm-hmm.
How can you turn the dark to light if you never try to shine, right? You got to let your light shine. Can't be a light bulb and not be a, you know, and that I have a light bulb cartoon. I don't know. I think have you seen him?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, I have a light bulb cartoon called Kilo Watkins.
Come on, man. Where is it? Where can I find it?
Let's see.
You're amazing.
I don't know if I've got him on
Insta?
No, I haven't put him out yet, man. I've just been kind of hoarding him for a minute. Yeah, probably for too long.
You're so creative.
Yeah, just got to get things done.
Absolutely. That's what's up. Wow, that was so good.
Well,
that was so good.
But yeah, the how could you turn the dark to light if you never try to shine? It's kind of written with that light bulb in mind. Like I've got a storyline in my head about this light bulb, and he's born the light, right? And then he starts like, got to pay the bills, right? And so he starts working in his jobs, and he's making announcements for the electric company, right? And one day he gets fired from his spokesperson job for the electric company because he spins out of this light bulb socket and looks at the camera and says, "Feeling like you might have gotten a little screwed into your current electrical situation." He's like, "What? What's wrong with that?"
You are a character, and you have character. I love it. Oh my God, I'm dying. So good. Wait, so how can I see these?
I don't have my cartoon characters up on the web yet. It's not really. I was just discussing it with you, but that because of the song,
Beautiful.
And,
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till you put it out. So how can we? Sorry. Can we talk more about how you got into music? I mean, it's obvious it's a deep love of yours, and you let your light shine through it. So how did that come about? How do you start your love for music?
Well, music has been part of my life and my growth. I got a guitar at 15 years old, and it was it's like I had a guitar, but I didn't have any really good instructors. And there wasn't a path that I could see to become a very good guitarist, right? And so I just kind of had a guitar until I was about 31 years old. And when I was 31 is when I got divorced, and all of a sudden, instead of having 4 children in my life every day, I was a music minister and stuff like that, but and people appreciated the stuff that I did, but it wasn't, I was early in my development. How about that?
Beautiful. And, what's a music minister?
When I used to go to a church, and I was the guy that leads the music.
Cool.
Yeah. I will sing the mercies of the Lord forever.
Cool. I was in the choir too, and like my whole life.
Yeah, that I was growing up. I went to a private Catholic school.
Cool.
And they had the nuns. And that was awesome. That was really wonderful. But it wasn't, church music for.
You get like that one night where they rock out.
Yeah, well, church music for Catholics tends to be a little bit, like if you go to some of these mega churches, bam, bam. You got, all of my music buddies here in Tulsa, they all have their church gigs,
And I used to go to Baptist church when I was young. In Chicago with my friend Tangi.
Right.
We would get picked up by the bus and go to. So fun, man. The music.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good gig to get. But yeah, and then after my divorce, all of a sudden, I was a non-custodial parent, so all of a sudden I had a lot of time on my hands, and I had thought that music had pretty much died for me, and then when I had enough time alone to myself because of a big change in circumstances, all of a sudden I found that music was there again, and I really it's been a long development for me. It's been a long, slow development, and heck, last year I went keto, and that's been like the biggest impact on my playing that I could possibly imagine.
Wait a minute, it's all coming back to me now. This was part of your TED Talk.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, can we talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So
I did keto for 3 months. This past Lent, I gave up carbs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's powerful. And so I was on in January of 19, my sister asked if I wanted to do a keto class with her. And I said, sure. I love my sister, and she always, gets me involved in stuff that's really cool. And so,
are you older or younger?
She's my older sister. She's I think about 6 years older than me. She's a dentist. She's Dr. Maria Lopez Howell. She's a spokesperson for the ADA. You might have seen her on TV.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No big deal.
she's a big deal. At any rate, she got me in. Dr. Carolyn Flannery is a doctor that's really big into the. She mixes up a ketogenic diet with what do you call that? Fasting, but intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. She mixes up keto, intermittent fasting, and a sort of a cheat day. It's not like she doesn't recommend cheat days like everybody else, where you like
an hour a week or something.
No, an apple is the big cheat. It's like, I had an apple.
I'm on that lately. I miss fruit so much. I'm actually doing a medical medium cleanse right now. It's just fruit and veggies.
Nice.
But I'm going to try to incorporate both somehow, because I love both styles. But it's funny you say, like, you eat an apple, you think you're cheating. It's like your whole mindset changes.
Yeah, it does. But so I was so in my guitar progression, like before that keto class, there was a piece. It's Sting's "Bring On the Night," and it was my Lady Godiva piece. Like the one that you want but you can't have. Right? I could never get it. And then 2 weeks into the keto class, I sit down to the guitar, and all of a sudden, it just piped right up. It just piped out. My playing has, like, I couldn't do that before that class, right? It wouldn't roll out of my hands because of the inflammation from sugars and carbs, right? And also your brain operates better when it's on ketones, and so that was a big eye opener for me. Because I had never had experienced any sort of quantum leap like that in my ability.
I'm so happy you're sharing this. Somebody was reaching out. Lorelai actually was reaching out to me asking questions about keto, and I don't really know how to explain it, and I don't even know if my information is the best.
That's why taking a class with Dr. Carolyn, it's like $100 for her class, and she's so thorough. Let's see, what was I getting on? Ketogenic diet is you want 70 to 80% of your calories to be from high quality fats like avocados, coconuts, oil.
I put coconut oil in my coffee. It's really good.
Yeah. If you put it in the blender and pulverize it,
I put raw coconut in my smoothie yesterday, and it was too much. I was like, this is fucking crazy. I had to strain it because I was like, it was a lot.
You want to know something that I did recently that was quite impactful for me? It was another, like, wow, I had never thought about that. But I woke up, and you have your morning coffee, and I was feeling bloated from having gone off the rails on my diet. My whole head was kind of like I couldn't really breathe out of my nostrils because I was congested because of the inflammation, right?
Yeah.
And so I finished my morning coffee trying to come alive, and the sludge down at the bottom of your coffee, right? I took that, and I did.
I have coffee soaps too, man. I'm in that.
Holy moly! All of a sudden, my nostrils just opened right the heck up, and I wasn't expecting that, and I now have that happened like 3 days ago. So I'm happy to share that with you.
I'm happy that I had coffee today for the first time, and so I don't feel like I'm craving it so much as we talk about this, because I got like the bulletproof coffee. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I can't do this anymore. I need coffee. I'm tired.
Yeah, bulletproof coffee is very keto. There's especially with when
The
you start
Mentalist
using
one. Love it.
some high quality MCT oil. Are you familiar with MCT oil?
Yeah, I get a
Yeah.
lot of cold brews with that in it. I don't really know how to use it otherwise.
Okay, so medium chain triglycerides are one is called there's lauric and caprylic acid. Caprylic is the one you're after, the C8, and it you use that and put it in like a tablespoon per cup of coffee, and I usually throw in some a tablespoon of butter as well, grass-fed butter, um, and so you got 2 tablespoons of fat. That's a lot of energy right there. And that's the other thing about fats is that, you know, when your body chooses to store energy, how does it do it?
Fat.
Right. So what does your body prefer? Fat. Your body prefers fat. It's amazing. It's had a big, you know, and the longer I've stayed on this this diet, the more I feel like I'm getting better rather than like sharper. My intuition. Yeah, I really.
And that distinction with your music, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah,
it just
no,
goes to, you know, that's amazing.
it keeps on getting. It keeps evolving. It keeps evolving. And you keep on getting. You know, one of the things about music is that you have to develop your sense of touch, right? And by touch, you know, when people first learn the guitar, they tend to like stomp they like elephants. We stomp like elephants with our fingers. You know?
I love elephants.
And people, yeah, man, my fingers are bleeding. Your fingers are not supposed to bleed, man. You know, but again, preconceived notions about what's right, right? And then I was having a lot of my left hand is, you know, is slow, right? I talked to the guy that made this guitar, and I said, Chris, I said, what do I do to help my left hand? And you know, most people, you know, because we tend to stomp, you know, stomp real hard, and then he said, man, you need to learn how to like be like a water bug across your strings. He said, and the way that you do that. And well, I said, how do I do that? He says, you just touch the string with your left hand rather than actually making the note. So that, and what happens is you have to do that slowly and relax, right? And all of a sudden you find out that you have tension like in your shoulders, tension in your abdomen that's keeping you from being relaxed, and you start becoming more self-aware of the tension in your body because you're going for a lighter sense of touch, right? That requires more relaxation. You can't have.
I love like when people jam. Like,
yeah,
is that like the right word?
Yeah, improvisation, and that comes from knowing your scales.
Did you name your guitar?
What's that?
Have you named your guitar? Do you name your guitars?
You know, I haven't named this one. I haven't. You know, I should probably name my guitar. That's a good idea.
My first one was My Precious. It was a 1969 pink Paisley Telecaster.
Oh, wow.
I sold it for rent. Fucked up. I done fucked up on that one.
I sold a Fender 50th anniversary edition American-made Strat, you know, because I needed to help my son with the car payment.
Man, ooh. And then my acoustic was Castillo after my teacher, and he used to bang on his guitar, and he's just so good. I got an A. Huh. And I tried to take piano. I was like, this shit sucks. I was like, I don't want to incorporate a foot pedal.
But the beautiful thing about learning more touch in the guitar or in any area, like touch comes across in golf when you see these guys putt and make these incredible putts. Like that takes a tremendous. You can't just go up and hit it, you know. And like I was with a friend of mine playing at, you know, on somebody's porch the other night, right? And some of the kids were there, and the younger ones, you know, you want to let them come up and touch the guitar because they're so interested in it, right? And they come up and they go,
oh my God, yeah.
They go real hard, right? And that's what people do in general, is we come at it way too hard with the sense of that. And I said, no, hold on. Touch it soft. Like this is, touch the baby. Touch the baby's face right here. Touch it soft, you know? And when you learn to touch things soft, like that, that's where you really start developing your sense of touch. That's what translates into expert putts, is a knowledgeable sense of touch. And as we develop in something, if you take a mindful approach to whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's putting or playing the guitar or doing your lives in a way that helps humanity in a skillful way, right? All of that requires touch. It requires a development of these deeper skills that people recognize. People recognize the minute somebody has got touch, people hear it, they respect it, right? And trying to pretend like you've got touch, it's like, you can't fake the funk, man.
Oh my God, that's my favorite saying.
Can't
Do you
fake the funk,
Gary?
man.
Gary says it all the time.
Right. You gotta have the right sense of touch to be able to.
Right touch.
Exactly.
Sorry, I play the tambourine in a band. That's as far as I go. I get the crowd all riled up, and then I pass them the tambo.
But there's value in, like I said earlier, I wish everyone could learn the rascado. Because what I'll do also is I will just take it and so again, let's get in here. I want to get it there. So it's a triplet. It's down, down, up, down, down, up. And you have to take that and do it super slow, super relaxed. Practice effortless weightlessness and relaxation. And what happens is that you end up owning the motion, right? I was working with this one trainer, right? And he was having me do some movements to help my lower back. And he said, breathe. He said, if you can't breathe, you're renting it. You don't own it, right? And that's what happens is when you do something slowly and relaxed, you can actually breathe because you really don't care. And you can be a badass at being slow, right? Being a badass at being slow, you actually learn what there is to do rather than your preconceived notion, what your ego believes you should do.
Beautiful.
And as such, then you're able to then maybe once you get that really slow, you can start speeding it up, right? And then and then when you start speeding that up, maybe you can speed it up a little more.
Cool.
and then once you get there, there's the inner spiritual game. And that can be a form of meditation, right?
I wanted to scream that out for the past 10 minutes.
It really is. The rascado is my meditation.
Beautiful. I know. Thank you for saying it.
and so if you're a little bit too ADD to get through, being ADD though, meditation is a wonderful thing to help.
And you could do it within things that you love doing. I meditate when I cook. I don't think about anything else. I'm just cooking. It clears my mind. It gives me peace.
Right.
So that's a beautiful message.
I'm glad you like it.
Thank you so much, Nacho.
You're so welcome, girl.
So I want to incorporate Jenny from the chopping block into, I want to recreate a recipe inspired by you. So I want to know what your favorite food and or recipe is.
My favorite food and or recipe, it would be carne guisada and homemade flour tortillas.
What kind
guisada, of? It's not very vegan. It's not very vegan. Not very Buddha.
I'm doing it all. So I'm trying to.
Right.
Plus, I feel like I'm getting to know my clients better because I'm going to know what it feels like to be vegan or be, all that jazz. But
my mom used to make homemade flour tortillas just about every day. I'd come home from school and there'd be, she would have a main course: rice, beans, homemade flour tortillas, tea or lemonade. It's
Sweet
just
tea.
sometimes. Most of the time, she would let people sweeten it
I like
themselves.
it unsweetened. Yeah.
Right.
Can you tell me more about the steak?
The carne guisada. Okay.
Is
So
it spurt steak?
Usually I would use pork.
What am I thinking? I'm thinking something else.
Like pork, you're thinking of carne asada, which is on the grill, right? In Spanish, asada means over on the grill. Guiso is on the stovetop, like a stew, right? And so what you do is you take the pork and you put it in with the salt, pepper, garlic, cumin. Those are your four.
Pork shoulder.
Yeah, pork shoulder diced up. Hopefully a lot of fat, right? Dice it up, brown it in salt, pepper, garlic, and cumin. Okay. And then after you do that, then you throw in a chopped up onion, diced up onion, and diced up tomato, right? And you let it sit, and it makes its own stew, right? And
I'm so hungry. I had
you might thicken it up with a little bit of corn flour, or just regular wheat flour.
Okay.
Thicken up the sauce.
Got it, like a roll.
Yeah, and then tortillas, homemade flour tortillas. I think it's 3 cups of flour, a half cup of lard, a teaspoon.
Damn, you got this down. I'm so proud.
Teaspoon of baking powder and 1.5 teaspoons of salt.
Yeah.
And then
1.5 salt.
And no, I think it might be a full cup of lard. I'm not real sure. It's one of those things that I get a little rusty on. And then you take all that and you cut the lard into the flour, right? Until it looks like cornmeal, right? And mix everything together. And then once you've got it looking like cornmeal, then you take the bowl and you make a little hole in the middle of it. You pour your hot water. I
was going to ask if it was cold, but okay, hot water in the middle.
Hot water, and use a spoon. You can be boiling hot. That's great. I prefer it that way. And then you pour that into the middle, and then you basically get it all into a doughy texture, right? And then you got to roll that in and fold it in many, many times. It's going to be really nice and warm. When you have that hot water at the beginning, use a spoon, use a big stirring spoon to mitigate get the heat distributed into the rest of the flour, because otherwise you're going to burn yourself. My mom, she
That's part of her secret ingredient, the love.
I guess so. But yeah, she would always do it with her hands, and you could see the love on her face. She's enduring for her family.
Exactly.
And then you cut that and you let it sit for about 20 minutes, and then you can start. You have to let it rest for a while, and then you can start making little balls. You grab a ball of it and let it squeeze out your hand. And you flatten it a little bit, and then you got to roll it out, and then put it on the griddle.
Oh my god, I want this.
That was so good.
Don't judge me if I fuck it up the first couple of times.
Go on to YouTube and learn.
No, I'm gonna do my research. Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, like a homemade biscuit doesn't have shit on a good homemade flour tortilla. Like you take some butter and some strawberry jam with some milk or coffee. Oh my god. and for me, for it to be a real flour tortilla, it can't be like, in the store when you see these tortillas and they have these tiny little light golden brown spots on them, and very few of them. It's basically a white tortilla. That's not a tortilla to me at all. It's got to have big old black burn spots on it. They puff up when they're on the griddle. They puff. I'm sure you've seen it in a Mexican restaurant where they puff up.
Well, when I grew up in Chicago, both neighbors were Mexican, so they would cook the best food.
Oh.
Like I don't think I've ever had as good food as I did growing up with them.
Well,
like any restaurant, nothing like so good. They made really good.
Say about Mexico, they love our food.
I can't wait to get to Texas. I'm gonna OD on Tex-Mex. It's my favorite.
Where are you going in Texas?
Dallas.
You're going to Dallas. Okay, cool. When is that?
August, the first week of August.
There's a UPW? I didn't know that. Very cool.
I'm crewing.
Awesome.
Are you close to there?
I'm about 4 hours away. Might be a good let me think about it. Let me look at the dates and make sure there's not a conflict. But that might be a worthwhile thing just to go and attend, you know?
Dude, I'm gonna change my flights tomorrow. I want to do a longer trip. I decided. So instead of coming like 2 days before, I want to come a little more, and then maybe a few days longer after.
Very cool. Yay.
Yeah. So let me know. Cool.
Yeah.
And Nacho, I want to ask you, I ask all my guests, you obviously have many superpowers, but if you could choose another one, what would that be?
I would if there was some magical way to just brush away hateful and deluded mindsets, you know, like just make hatefulness and anger disappear, that would be the coolest thing.
Beautiful. Love it. Just blow it off.
Yeah. Sorry, do that. You're real angry. Sorry.
That's awesome. I know you're a proud grandpa now. Have you ever seen Inside Out?
I have not.
The Disney movie?
Oh, yes. Is that it's a cartoon, right?
Mm-hmm. With all the emotions.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, you definitely get those with grandparents. Yeah. Right. Did you see my Parker? There's this. They've got her on a horse, and she's like, "Puppy," and they try and pull her off, and she's like, "No!"
Oh my god, it's so cute.
Like a little cartoon. She's like, "No."
So cute. Love it. And how have you been? You seem amazing. I'm almost hesitant to ask, but how have you been through this whole unique point in time? Yeah.
You know, I think I got a little depressed, just like anybody else. You know, being separated from your normal throw in life, and then having to build a business at the same time. And yeah, there was a few bad hops, I guess, you know. But yeah, recently I had a bad hop, and I found out later, you know, that it had nothing to like. I suffered for an entire week over something that I completely freaking made up. Like there was no truth to what I was suffering about. It was all in my mind, right? And about the middle of the week, though, I started having a little bit of like there was a quote that I ran across. It's a Tibetan saying, and it says that searching for happiness outside of yourself is like looking for sunshine in a cave that faces north.
So true.
Right? And so I saw how the situation, this girl, right, and what I thought she had done wasn't anything like what actually happened.
Yeah.
And so I was making stuff up and suffering about it, but I was trying to say that, oh well, that is screwed up, it shouldn't happen, and as a result, I was unhappy. But where does happiness come from? Inside, right? Inside yourself. So it was quite an eye opener for me, a moment of like, wow, really owning deeply inside of myself that I'm responsible for my happiness, regardless of what I think happens up there.
It's beautiful and such a valuable lesson. And I mean, we're human. We all had a tough week last week too, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's part of.
I get most human in the car.
No, do you really?
I can totally lose my cool in the car. It's bad. and you know, and I'm working on it. And that's why Happy Buddha's sitting up here,
I
driving with Happy Buddha.
Because I'm like a backseat driver because I had to give my car back and a lot of my situation. And, but like it's a lot easier for me in the passenger seat to say, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know. Everybody's stressed out, but if I was driving, I'd probably be like, what are you doing? But it's true. You never know what people are dealing with or going through.
Right.
And
the one that gets me is the one where like there's nobody behind you for 4 miles and they have to come out right in front of you and make you slow down. And then
sometimes I think it's like, I think about this every day because my commute's kind of like a little scary sometimes, but
right.
I'm always thinking like, are we manifesting that shit?
Yeah, are we trying to piss ourselves off so that we can get off it? Right. No, this lady, she did just that, and then like at the very next light, right? I have to take a right. She's just pulled out right in front of me. Like I had to put on the brakes for her to get on. There's nobody behind me, nobody the other direction, and then she goes to the red light and she doesn't take a right on red, and so I'm stuck there behind.
Oh my god! Wow, you made my evil laugh come out. Sorry. Wow, that's so good. Yeah, but we gotta show love. I mean, it's easier said than done, like I said. When I'm driving myself, I'm like, fuck. But
it's a practice, right?
Yeah.
There's
because we have to love each other no matter what. And give everyone grace. Not always, but
let's hope, right? Let's
hope. So Nacho, is there anything else you want to share? I know I took up a lot of your time, but it's just been a long time since I've been able to see you. I'm happy to connect and have you inspire us all. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. You've been quite the inspiration in doing these, and I'm so proud of you. And that's what I want to share is just thank you for having me on here. Thank you for allowing me to tell people about Happy Buddha. You know what? One of the things I do want to share is the love pendant. I don't know if I shared this earlier.
Is new. I saw it. Oh my gosh! Yes, I know this one.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know why
I love it.
Trying to get it close. And
I'll post the link so everyone has access to this beautiful.
Yeah, this one you have to message before. This is I don't have like it just has a lanyard on it. I call it hippie wild child style.
Right up my alley.
Right. All right. Send me your address and I'll send you one.
We'll talk.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed our time with Nacho as much as I did. And thank you, Todd. Thank you, Zal. Zal's here. I love you guys so much. And
what's up, Zal?
Right? Oh my God. It's like a family reunion over here.
Yeah.
So have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you guys real soon. Love you.
All right. Thank you.
Love you, Nachos.
Love you too, baby.